Hello, we are here today with Kiara Jade, the artist behind the exhibit Food for Thought, the final exhibit of the Lawndale pop-up spot, Refilling Our Wells Wellness Summer. And Kiara, first of all, I want to thank you so much for putting together this beautiful exhibit with AMFM. And I just wanted to ask you a couple questions. First of all, what was your inspiration behind this exhibit?
First of all, thank you so much, Jonathan, for allowing me to bring a South Side story to the West Side. I think it's very important that we all connect because we basically share space together in this city. So these photos were taken the day after the George Floyd uprising. It was the noise that I heard the day before that really prompted me to wake up first thing on June 1st, 2020 and take these photos. So these photos are actually from me starting on 47th Street, going west on to Cottage Grove. And what I felt that day was devastated the day before, but then when I went out and I took the photos, it really hit me emotionally. So I actually set these photos aside for a month or two. And then when I revisited, this was the first photo that I took. This is 47th Street. I live on 49th, so I'm literally walking in this direction. And as I'm revisiting this photo, I see him wearing a Tuskegee Airman jacket, and that made me realize why I was so disturbed, because I realized that this story has taken place several times throughout history. And based off of that, I wanted to prove my point by taking research and images of history and collaging them over present images. Kind of like a way to make it make sense for me.
Is that the camera that you used?
Yes, this is my camera.
And what's your relationship with the camera?
This is my first digital camera. I grew up shooting on film, and my mom got me a digital camera when I graduated college, so I've just been shooting with this. I've never really thought about getting another camera, so I normally shoot with this in my film camera.
And can I ask you about the image over here? This has been one of the ones that I think are taking people aback a lot and making them really really ponder things. Can you tell me what this image means to you, this piece?
So what I noticed a lot when I was walking down the street, that it was very clear of what you can see, what neighborhood individuals might have done versus what probably wasn't us, right? So if you take a look at this photo, if you see the damage in the background, it looks like this was done on it looked like a bombing. It looked like a straight up bombing. And so did this one. I was shocked, and these two stores are actually next to each other on the street. So I was so shocked about the devastation, but yet when I looked in a little bit further, I saw these nicely pair of Nike shoes that were handled with such care. They were delicately placed on a table, like an altar or something amongst all of this devastation. And it made me think about pain, and I was sad. And throughout this story, it was leading up to my relationship with the Emmett Till story. And when I saw these Nike shoes just sitting there, and people were just looking at them, people were just walking by, just looking at them. Nobody would touch them though, they were just looking at them. It made me think of the Emmett Till funeral line, to be honest with you. And this is the Emmett Till funeral line. Where the shoes are placed, I collage out of respect his body in his casket, and then I put his mother above it all just to look down. Why I did it, I don't know. It just made sense to me.
There's an interesting South Side, West Side connection, just a small one, that Mamie Till, who's featured there in the photo, Emmett Till's mother. So Emmett and Mamie lived on the South Side, but after the murder of Emmett Till, she actually came and spoke here on the West Side at the church, Stone Temple Baptist Church, which had only been a Baptist church for a short time. And she spoke about the reason why she wanted to have an open casket. And other folks who spoke then were Martin Luther King Sr., Martin Luther King's father, And one of the parishioners that day who was there as a young child is still a parishioner to this day over 50 years later. I'm sorry, I'm aging myself, almost 70 years later from that murder. So last thing I wanted to ask was about the inside part of the exhibit. Can you take us inside really briefly? Hi. We're live. So, yeah. Hi, say hi.
Hey, y'all.
We all love Alexandra. So tell us about, so it's a little bit different on the inside. You don't have the same kind of collage.
No. So, these were the first photos that I took, because if I'm walking towards 47th and Cottage Grove, I have to pass a Walgreens on my left side. In that first photo of the Tuskegee Airmen, where you see everybody is looking towards that direction, I'm actually looking at this violence. This is like the corner that people are looking for. This is like that corner. And basically, I took these photos because one, I was shocked about how many people actually helped clean up Walmart. And then it made me question like the place of Walmart. Like, individuals live in food deserts across the city, and when we have to beg, certain neighborhoods have to beg for grocery stores, and then they give us things like Walmart. No shade to Walmart, but when something like this happened in the middle of a pandemic, that same neighborhood starved out a whole community without second thought. During the pandemic, it wasn't Walmart that fed the community, it was the community that fed the community. But the moment that they reopened, people flocked to Walmart again, and it's like they forgot about they forgot about who really fed them. And it made me have this thought about, like, wait a second, there is a connection between black neighborhoods, segregation, racism, and food deserts. And I began to do research, and I didn't stop doing my research until I found that connection. So you'll actually see, like, what these images are. They're actually Chicago before the early 1900s, leading all the way up into the 2017. And what these maps are actually showing is like the growing black population. So if you see in early 1910, you don't really begin to see an emerging black population until we get into the 1920s, because then you're able to see the red. And then slowly the black population starts going from the south side to the west side, and then boom, you have like this hardcore, right? So this is the racial division of Chicago, right? The red is the black side, black-brown side, and that is the south and west side of Chicago. This is a map of like the African American community on top of like the food desert, south and west side. But then if you see the areas are so concentrated, like this is something that was structurally done. The layout of our city, the segregation, the redlining, everything was planned. But my question to Chicagoans across the entire city, but specifically black and brown neighborhoods, now that we have this information, what are we going to do with it?
What are we going to do? Do you have an answer yet?
No.
No.
I'm only one person. Come through.
Alexandra says.
It's a collective.
Yeah.
It's not just one person that has the answer.
Absolutely. So what's next for you? Do you know yet? Where are you going to take your art practice from here?
Well, I'm also a teaching artist, and I will be doing teaching artists when the school year starts. But this small series, Food for Thought, is a part of a larger photo series. I think there's over 30-something plus photos in the entire series. So this fall and this winter, I'm going to revisit it, because I think I just needed other people's opinion. I needed to show the beginning of it, especially being in the house all throughout the pandemic. So this time I'm going to take what people have been telling me, and I'm really going to dish out. I'm going to tell the whole story, and whether that's a book, a full exhibition, through social media, the story will get told. Yeah.
All right.
That's what I'm going to do.
Well,
Tell the whole story,
I'm
though.
so glad we got to be part of the storytelling that you're doing. It's really incredibly important work. Really powerful photographs and beautiful, and it's been a pleasure working with you.
Likewise, thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Bye.